Okay, there's a lot to see at Fort Laramie, more than I expected. So, plan to spend a couple of hours here, I would say. I think it's worth it to walk all the way around. It is almost 100 degrees already at 11:15 this morning. We finally abandoned the far side of the parade grounds just because it was so bloody hot. And I was getting pretty concerned about Kit being out in the heat that long, not to mention us. But there's a lot to see here. The intersecting stories between the pioneers and the soldiers and the Native Americans, the fur traders, you know, all of those things. It's all really, really interesting. Watch the movie. And we also caught a ranger talk that briefly discussed the soldiers, the fur traders, and so forth that got everything started, but focused on the pioneers. So that was very cool. Our entire route to our next destination is on pavement. Yay for that. I think I'm going to do a completely, or I will have done a completely separate video on the segment coming from where we camped to get over here, which was only 11, actually I think it was 13 miles, but took an hour. 7 miles of really bad dirt road. Check it out. So we came from the left. We're turning right to get out of here. And we are heading for a campground that's called Pavement Ends. It's an hour and a half away. And then tomorrow we're going to do agate fossil beds, which will be very close to the campground we're going to this evening. Now, I couldn't find any kind of phone number for the campground. I tried messaging them via Facebook yesterday, didn't get any response. So I don't know what we're going to find when we get there. I do know that there is 30 amp hookups. Not sure the pavement's much better than the dirt was. Oh, definitely better, trust me. But pretty beat up pavement. There's another view of Fort Laramie over there. And part of the reason the site was chosen is because it's near the confluence of the Laramie and North Platte rivers, and rivers were a primary means of transportation for goods like beaver pelts and buffalo hides to go back east. So it was a convenient location, originally chosen by the fur traders of the American Fur Company. Good sized cemetery here. This looks pretty modern though, so I don't think it's left over from the fort days. And the bumps and the rattling are pretty annoying to me, so I'm sure they're very annoying to you. So I'll pick you up a bit later.
Wake up with the sun in our eyes. Sally forth, no need for goodbyes. Journey calls, let's roll the dice. Every mile a new surprise.
Over here to the right is the iron bridge that was built to get across the river to be able to get to Fort Laramie. Here's a better glimpse of it. Looks like they're doing some painting and maintenance on it today. And I don't remember what year that was built in. No idea what this little village is. Thought it's a little difficult to get around. J.L. Wolf up there on the side of the building. Dry camping to the right, splash pad to the left. Interesting. No idea. Oh, Fort Laramie. Okay. So this is Fort Laramie, Wyoming. The village. And now we know. Yesterday we slept in Wyoming. Today we're going back to Nebraska. And here it is. Yeah, their sign is not very impressive. Welcome to Arbor Day. I I see absolutely nothing out here. Welcome to Morrill. Population 974. There's a big bump. Whoa. We'll just slow it down a little bit more. Not quite sure what all they're doing here, but it looks like plenty. We got a one-block little main street there we just passed. I guess this is also kind of a main street, but doesn't seem to be a whole lot going on here. Got some old trucks for sale. They're kind of cool looking. A couple painted up like tow mater from Cars. Okay, well, we just saw the end roadwork sign. I forgot what the name of this town was already. I mean, I haven't seen the sign for it, but we're in it. Is this Mitchell? Maybe? Or Mitchellville? Mitchell something, I think. Two blocks long, I think. Mitchell. There we go. It's the elementary school. Over there to the right, there's Scott's Bluff. We were just here a few days ago. I guess that was Sunday morning. Today's Wednesday. Didn't think we were going to come all the way back here. But, oh well. Welcome to Scott's Bluff, established 1900. I think it said like 19,000 people. But here's our Walmart. Well, it took me a very long time at Walmart to finish up, but I did. And yeah, unfortunately Barb was waiting for me this time because I was shopping for something that might hold my car mount in place and Loctite, because I decided, you know, the screws keep rattling out of my door frame, and I thought, you know, let's put some Loctite on this time as we screw them back in, and maybe they'll stay. So I'm hopeful. I got fabric glue, which might be all I need to get the, oops, sorry Barb.
Continue on US 26 West for 9 miles.
Might be all I need to be able to glue together the laptop sleeve, but I also got nylon upholstery thread so that I can add a whip stitch if I need to. And I think I'll probably do both. Just because God's Bluff National Monument to the right. We don't have to do that again. So I guess we're going to be turning in Mitchell. So coming to Walmart was a 16-mile detour. But I got most of the stuff that I wanted, so I feel pretty good about that. And I'm lollygagging while I wait for Barb to get caught up. She got caught at the traffic light. So, you don't need to see this part because we've already done it. 48 miles, 44 minutes to go. 46 miles, 44 minutes to go. So here we are back in Mitchell. And now we're going to see where our turn is. In about half a mile. It must, I don't know, it might have been marked when we came through the first time, but I didn't notice it. Of course, I didn't really notice a whole lot about Mitchell, did I? I do know that I am going to be very glad to be stopped. Agate Fossil Beds National Monument. I don't know why I didn't see that sign on the way through the first time. So I guess now we get to see the residential district and the cops. No U-turn. I don't understand. Is that because of the school? Maybe? What on earth are they doing here? Was there a crash maybe? And the cop showed up and he's moving them off the road? Probably. So 34 miles to Agate Fossil Falls, Fossil Beds. And I think Harrison, if I'm recalling correctly, isn't Harrison where Wind Cave is? Can't remember for sure. According to Henry, it's 98 degrees. We need to get out of this heat. This is supposed to be the hottest day, and then I think tomorrow is only going to be like a high of 85, which will feel absolutely pleasant comparatively. I'll be having another sandwich for dinner. Some more hard-boiled eggs made, and maybe cook up some more almonds, roast some more almonds. Well, we're moving at speed, and Henry now thinks it's 100 degrees outside. Awesome. Well, we've been going steadily up. We're now up to almost 4,900 feet. It was 102 outside for a while. Now we're back to 101. I'm hoping I can see past these guys. Yeah. Kind of sucks to be them. Hey, look at that mower. I bet he's cutting hay, maybe. Maybe. Road work in 1/2 mile. Oh goody. Down to 100. No passing zones not marked. Alrighty. Reduce speed. Loose gravel on surface. 97. Oh, thank heaven. Hopefully it goes down. Nope, 98 again. I'm hoping it goes down a little more. We've only got 19 miles to our destination, and it is what it is. A lot of nothing up here, huh? When I first looked out in the distance there and saw the dark stripe across the road and over to the right, I thought that maybe it was just cloud shadow, but I don't really see a cloud that would be casting that shadow. So I wonder if it's a change in geology. We've come back down in elevation again. We're back down to 4595. And the temperature's been back up as high as 101. We're currently at 99. Ick. Hope we get out of the super hot weather soon. All those trees down there make it look like an oasis. Back up to 100 degrees outside here. I'm a little concerned about this 100-degree temperature. I don't think we're going to be able to get cool enough, even plugged in. Somebody's got a nice grove of trees down here. And we definitely have some change in geology up ahead of us. We got a little picnic bench out there. That's nice. This is the Nebraska River we're crossing, apparently. .98 degrees. Of course, we just went through that cool part. So I guess we're actually coming into Agate Fossil Beds National Monument. Fire danger low. Good for them. Well, here's the turnoff for the visitor center. But we're going to keep going for another mile to the campground. So I guess now we will have driven all the way through the monument. Interesting looking houses down there. Must be for the people that work here. Yeah, so now we're leaving Agate Fossil Beds National Monument. And we'll be looking out for free-range cattle. But we've only got a half a mile to go. Although the pavement quality is pretty abysmal. It's like they added tar, but not enough. Of course, it melts and oozes out till back up to 100 degrees. I'm not loving this, I gotta tell you. So do you think that closed sign is for the campground? I think it is.
Dang it, yeah, sometimes it's a gate, but that doesn't look like a gate. I don't see anybody else there.
Yeah, and when you look further over to the right, there's a little building that might have been the bathroom. I think they're out of business.
Thinking. You want to drive through anyway?
I don't think there's anything to drive through. I'm going to just turn around. So stay where you are.
Pull in and turn around?
Yeah, so stay where you are. Let's just go back to the visitor center here and figure it out. Okay. Well, that's pretty disappointing, huh? Wonder why they closed down. That seems a little odd. It's okay, Kit. It's okay. So I guess we're going to be doing agate fossil beds today. Oh, that's the wrong way. Maybe if I flip around that way, I should be able to get some shade, I hope. I hope. So yeah, we'll do this, and then we got to figure out where the hell we're going to camp tonight. All right, so this was agate fossil beds.
Turn left.
This was pretty fun. And we have possibly found a city park that's only half an hour away that might actually have electrical hookups and water. So we're gonna go try that first and see if that pans out. And otherwise, we're going to go all the way up near Wind Cave and plan to stay for a few days. The weather is going to be much better starting tomorrow. So we shall see what we can find out. So, agate fossil beds, pretty interesting. There's probably some pretty interesting hiking around here through the national park as well. But I heard about a whole bunch of animals I'd never heard of before, like bear dogs, never heard of them. And so these animals were present during the period between the dinosaurs and the ancestors of Homo sapiens. So these said like 19 to 22 million years ago. And the fossil beds were discovered by a rancher in 1890. And then he got some scientists in, and a lot of work was done. it's a very important fossil discovery because, first of all, because of how many there were concentrated in the area, plus what they are. So it tells a whole different story than a lot of the other fossil beds that have been discovered. And yeah, very, very cool. And not terribly difficult to get to. As I said, we thought we were going to go camp at the Pavement Ends Campground, but apparently it got closed last year. And it's really unfortunate that the Facebook page is still active and still accepting messenger messages. So I'm going to see if I can put a post on there that says, yeah, this place is closed, don't bother going. And I can't remember if I found it on Campendium or iOverlander initially, but I think I'll go back and add a review there as well. It says, no, it's permanently closed, don't waste your time. But we'll see how this city park turns out, hopefully well. Hopefully well. Oh, and by the way, it's 102 degrees right now. So it's still going to be bloody hot through this evening. But then tomorrow, I think it's down to like 85 or 70, depends on where we end up. But like 85 and then 75 the next day, and I think the next one might be even colder, and then it starts heating back up again. I think we can use a break from the weather, and ideally we'd like to sit still for a little bit and rest up from all the driving. And I want to take some time to process, both mentally and hopefully in video, some of the very, very cool sights that we've seen so far, because I'm really excited about bringing all of this stuff to you guys. So there you have it. So here's another good view of the area. So in addition to all of the animal fossils, and they found some grass roots, but apparently they haven't found actual grass yet. Really cool looking area. And the good news is, when I checked the refrigerator just before we got back on the road, I think I'm not quite up to 50 degrees yet. Which means all the effort to keep it in the shade as much as possible is paying off. So that's good. And if we can go camp up at, I think it's called Cottonwood Springs, for a couple of days, it should be cool enough that everything will renormalize itself and we'll be back to normal. And then hopefully we can work on staying out of the horrendous heat. I think we need to do a little bit better job of watching the weather, because it is, after all, stinking July. Let me refer you back to July of 2024 when I had so much difficulty with the heat in my refrigerator. I'm actually doing much better so far. Down to 100 degrees already, woohoo! So it really looks like there's nothing out here, right? But apparently we are going to come to a town in less than 2 miles. Oh, now we can see some stuff over to the left. I was starting to get pretty concerned because Google has been trying to reroute for, you know, like whatever it's been, 18, 20 miles, and there's no signal. Hopefully there's a signal in town, and hopefully there's a gas station in town, because if we're going to continue on, which seems pretty likely, I'm approaching half a tank of fuel. Yeah, I got 280 miles on, and I'm sure Barb's below half a tank. Still no signal. I don't even see anything. Oh, that might be a cell tower over there. But yeah, so far I got nothing. No, that's a telephone pole. That's not a cell tower. Is this a town that still has no signal at all? Wow. I wonder if Barb's got any signal. Population 251. It's cute. Nebraska's top town. Tourist information. It's a little itty bitty town. They got a saloon. Sand Hills State Bank, Sioux County.
In 800 feet, turn left.
I still got no signal. Hoyt Block, 1938.
Turn left. Then, your destination will be on the left.
RV park, picnic shelter, restrooms, and swimming. Alright, well maybe we stay here tonight. Yeah, there is no stinking signal in here at all.
Your destination is on the left.
Okay, kid. Okay, okay. Okay. Alright, there's water. Okay, so we came to the city park here. And we got water. And now I gotta find the right map because I'm...
Turn right onto Rose Street.
There we go.
Turn right on then turn right on Quincy.
And did I lock my door this time? Yes. Okay, so we got water. And we could have stayed there. Somehow I turned my flashlight on my walkie-talkie. We could have stayed there at the city park. But, and they had electric hookups. But I really want to get to this Army Corps of Engineers campground and then be able to stay for at least a few days. There's a pump on the other side too if you go around the other way. I'm not positive there's actually gas here. I just sent you a new link. There's a Sinclair on the way. Did you get the link I just sent you? There's a Sinclair on the way.
Yes, I got it. It's telling me to turn right.
Telling me to turn left. We just tried the gas station that was in Harrison, and they wanted $3.50 a gallon plus 4% for using a credit or debit card, which makes it pretty daggone expensive. Plus the pumps look really sketchy, and I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have any kind of additives. It's probably the cheapest quality gas you can get. So we're going to go on up the road for 48 miles, which is going to take an hour. And then we're going to get gas at a Sinclair station, which will at least be safe. And I think roughly we're going about an hour and a half to get to our destination this evening. Well, how about this view from 5,000 feet? Look, there's trees and everything. And that's part of the reason I wanted to keep going north, because there's going to be some, it looks like there are trees at this campground, which is an Army Corps of Engineers park. I always enjoy those. And it'll be really nice to sit there for a few days and just digest. Try and get some stuff done. Yeah. But this is beautiful. So we're actually going to end up in South Dakota today, so we will have been in 3 states today as well. And both the times we've been through Nebraska in the past week, we haven't slept there. Down to 96 degrees already. Woohoo! So part of the theory here, guys, is that by continuing to drive while it's still bloody hot, at least we're not sitting in the house part and suffering. You know, we're running the AC in the cab, which is also helping to keep the house part less hot. I'm not going to say cooler. And another tip from me, for me, not most people can't do this, but when I know that I'm going to end up with electrical hookups and it's not above 90 degrees, I may run the AC on my way to get the hookups. So kind of where I am now, I'm understanding above 90 degrees, if the inverter compartment is sitting in the sun while I'm driving, chances are I could have a heat overload as a result of that. So better to avoid it, because the more overheating issues you have, the worse off it is. And so my thought is that by the time we get parked this evening, which will probably be 7 o'clock-ish, then it should be starting to cool down. We can just open up the windows, let more flies in, because hey, why not? And it'll cool down enough overnight, because tomorrow is going to be much cooler, and the day after is going to be much cooler than that, with the possibility of rain. And I think I could be kind of grateful to see some rain after all the heat we've had in the past however many days it's been, which feels like an eternity, by the way. Just saying. We have 22 miles to our next turn and 42 miles to the gas station. And then we'll be all gassed up. So we're going to stay a couple of days at Cottonwood Springs, and then it's about a half an hour, I think, from there to Wind Cave National Park. And that'll give us a little time to work out some more of what we want to do. Like if we want to do other stuff along the way to the big rocks. Yeah, we have some medium-sized rocks, some pebbles or some sand that we want to include in this. They've harvested enormous marshmallows over to the left. Just kidding. Actually hay bales, but they do kind of resemble marshmallows, especially when they wrap them in plastic sheeting, which I've seen in certain parts of the country. Then they exactly look like enormous marshmallows. Right now they kind of look like shredded wheat. Remember shredded wheat biscuits? Yeah. Wonder if they still make those. Wonder if they still make grape nuts. You know, I always thought grape nuts were weird, but I bet they'd be good in yogurt. Especially if you soak them for a while. Okay, the random things that I think about while I'm driving. Thanks for listening. Yeah, so we had this beautiful paved road, and then all of a sudden I was looking at Google Maps, and I saw the little notification that said, unpaved road. I'm like, wait, what? And then all of a sudden, here we are. No idea how long we're going to be unpaved for, but at least this road is pretty decent quality. We did just have a guy pass us that was flying by. I mean, super fast. So yeah, we'll see how long we have to drive in the dust. I'm so glad I spent the money to have Henry washed in May. Well, I kind of am, because he was so filthy, and I was going to hang out with friends that are, you know, weekenders, essentially. Although I think they would have understood, but the other friends of theirs that were coming might not have understood just how filthy Henry was and why. Because really, what's the point of washing him when I'm doing this kind of stuff all the time? Landscape's kind of interesting. Look at the kind of hill formations over there. Oh, I think we're going to come around to them. So I guess I'll leave the camera running a little bit. And this is certainly much better than the dirt road we were on first thing this morning, which was completely, and I do mean completely, washboard. In fact, even we reached the point where it appeared to be pavement, torn up pavement, but pavement nonetheless, and even that was washboard. Alright, so look at those sandy, rocky formations straight ahead. They're kind of cool looking. I should keep a tally of how many miles of dirt road we're driving. Certainly a lot more than I typically do. I mean, driving. I use dirt roads all the time looking for camping spots. But I don't usually use dirt roads going from point A to point B in the way that we have over the past couple of weeks. So I'm guessing we might have 17 more miles of this dirt road. And of course, the one we were on this morning in Wyoming was a Wyoming state route. It was not a county road. I don't know what this one is. I don't see a route number on it or anything. This could just be Google taking us on what it thinks is the most fuel-efficient route again. Which is what I have it set to, so. And because in the grand scheme of RVs, my rig is relatively small. I mean, yes, I'm 28 feet long, but I'm only 10'1" in height. So height issues are usually not a big deal to me. And even with a ditch on both sides, I could get turned around in this width of roadway if I had to. Preferably not on a curve. Sure is pretty though, huh, kid? It's pretty, isn't it? It's pretty. I think I saw a sign that just entered, yeah, we just entered the Ocala National Forest. Interesting. Motorized vehicle restrictions. Stay on designated roads. Interesting. Is this the fire danger sign or something else? Something else, I think. What is this? Help! Prevent wildfires. That's what Smokey says. To our next turn. Does this look like a forest to you? Doesn't really look like a forest to me. But that's okay. It's very pretty. And I'm absolutely enjoying the drive. Oh, I guess I could back up to the agate fossil beds for a little bit. They said part of the reason they think that there was such a concentration of these animals in one place is that they were mostly herbivores. There were some carnivores, but many fewer carnivores than herbivores. I guess there's, more prey in herbivores than meat, but I don't know, whatever. Anyway, the herbivores started eating the vegetation near the watering hole, and then they continued eating it further and further away from the watering hole until they finally reached the point where they could not reasonably travel back to the water hole and have enough food to eat. And so many of them, apparently, they believe, went back to the watering hole, laid down in the mud, what was left of it, and that's where they succumbed. We're heading due north, by the way, and it is 100 degrees. Can't wait for this day to be over. But I feel better about driving it out than I was trying to sit it out. Yesterday afternoon was pretty awful. telling me, I think that just says unpaved road. You know, as we were getting up to this section, it's like, really? I'm not surprised. I've been on an unpaved road. But I think you've probably seen enough of this. And just like that, we're leaving the Ocala National, grassland, not forest. Alright, that makes more sense. Definitely a grassland. And we are approaching 2 miles from the South Dakota border. I don't think there's going to be a welcome to South Dakota sign on this road. What do you think? Slow down for the cattle guard. We're approaching another ranch that looks like a very nice oasis. It looks like they've probably got a stream running right down through the middle of them. We are 5 miles from our next turn, 0.3 of a mile from the South Dakota border. So I wonder if it's just on the other side of this creek or not. Clunk. Well, here's a new sign. 50 miles an hour. Truck speed limit 40 miles an hour. We are on Fall River County Road 6412. Welcome to South Dakota. So there we go. Well, we're half a mile from our turn, and I've just been assuming that we're turning onto pavement, but I could be completely wrong. It could just be more dirt road. We still have 21 miles to our gas station. Yeah, I think we're just staying on dirt. That's my guess. Guessing we got 11 more miles of dirt.
I'm wondering if South Dakota isn't paved.
Good question. Could be. But at least it's a decent dirt road. Homestead, huh? Well, that's a pretty big vista out there. We get to turn in a mile onto Highway 471 North, which I'm hoping is paved. Because I'm beginning to think that nothing in South Dakota is paved, and parts of northern Nebraska. So this will have been more than 30 miles of dirt. But as those things go, it is without a doubt the best 30 miles of dirt that we've had. The other day when we went to, where we go, it'll come to me. Sand Creek Massacre. We ended up doing about 30 miles of dirt that day too, but that was not as good as this, quality-wise. So we got a railroad crossing. And a house, I guess. Well, nothing's coming. So is that pavement ahead of us or not? Let's find out. I think to the right it's not, but I think to the left it is. Yeah, still dirt to the right. Pavement to the left. Yay! 9 miles. Then we'll get gas. Then we got like another hour of driving to do, I think. It'll be okay. Look at this. Just look at it. Well, this is something, huh? A little breezy here, looking at the tree. Still 102 degrees. Yowza. And it's not yet 6 o'clock, but still. Welcome to Edgemont, capital community of South Dakota. So it says. We're just a little over a mile from our gas station. Yay for that. .103 degrees. Yowza. Population 725. By the way, our elevation is currently 3480. I wonder if that's a city park campground. But no hookups. Right next to the train tracks. No thanks. Here in Edgemont, as far as I can tell. Busy picking everything up again, Kat. Because I made a mess all over the floor. All my paper stuff fell down. I really need to better contain that. And I've got an empty folder. Maybe I'll just start putting that on the bench and putting everything in it until I get to it. That might be a good idea. That's a big one. There's a Sinclair. Okay, Kat. 11 MPG. So yay. It's like $95. Okay, so where's Barb? There she is. And we only have 21 miles to go to our destination. And the reason that we chose this gas station is that it was the closest one. Thank you for the turn signal, dude. That was not timely. This one was along the route, and there were cheaper ones up in Hot Springs, I think, but they were past where we were going. So, yay. So, I just poured iced tea all over my shirt. So, in 329 miles, we averaged 11 miles per gallon. Now, I know at least 40 of that was dirt road, some of which we couldn't do more than like 5 to 10 miles an hour on this morning. And then 30 miles this afternoon to get here. But I'm really glad it's only 21 more miles because I'm really tired of driving today. And we've been doing so much, it's like I can't even remember. Did we get gas yesterday? Probably did. It seems like we're getting gas almost every day. Let's go back and look. Yeah, yesterday in Loveland at 8 o'clock in the morning. So we have driven 329 miles so far since yesterday. And I don't think we drove all that far yesterday. But, and this is part of the reason we want to sit still. I mean, for me, everything's starting to run together and I can't keep, I'm not going to say recollections, clear reflections. I haven't had time to reflect on any of the stuff that we've done, except when I've been driving, and there's been, you know, a fair amount of driving. Like, where did we stay last night? Oh, at Gray Rocks Reservoir. I remember that now. And so yesterday was not a tremendous amount of driving. But today certainly has been. Alright, so 19 more miles. And unless I see something really interesting, I'll just show you where we wind up. Got this view. This is pretty spectacular. We've still got 13 miles to go to our destination. But I like seeing the trees, that's helpful. And the pictures at the campground had trees, so that's very helpful. Temperature was 98 at the top there, but we're descending. We got all the way up to about 43.75, I think, in elevation. Hopefully we don't drop back down too far. I think it's going to be okay. And it's really about time the temperature starts going down. It's 6:15 in the evening. But very pretty. Actually, this is the kind of forest I like the best, where you have like kind of sparse bands of trees, rather than those where you can't see the forest for the trees. And I have no idea whether or not this campground has a signal. So I guess it's entirely possible that I'll be paying for a full month of Starlink this month, of unlimited Starlink, but we'll see. We're on US 18 East. We're actually traveling in a mostly north direction, even though we're on a road that labels itself as east. Poured some more iced tea all over myself. Awesome. So my thought is, if we get up here and this place looks decent, I want to stay until at least Sunday night, or at least Monday morning. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 nights. That would be my goal. But we could also do 4 and leave one Sunday, because finding places on Sunday is easier than finding them on Friday or Saturday, especially when you're looking for dispersed. Custer Hospitality, huh? Sure is pretty. 99 degrees. Well, we're at 39 feet and down to 94 degrees. We're about to make our turn to the Cottonwood Springs Recreation Area. And we're only 2 miles away from it here. Now, what I find oftentimes with Army Corps of Engineers parks is that they have kind of crappy roads getting into them. I think I can see the dam up there though. Damn! There's still at least a little Verizon signal here. Not sure if there's any T-Mobile or if I'm going to have to go to Starlink. 93 degrees. Please keep dropping. Please keep dropping. Not in elevation, but in temperature. Starting on the outside of the corner, going to the inside, and then back to the outside. That makes it much more of a straight line and easier to navigate. Yeah, that's the dam. Hope we don't have to drive across the dam. I never enjoy doing that. We might. Cottonwood Springs Recreation Area. Want to make sure Barb saw that I actually turned. I don't really understand why nobody is here. Well, basically nobody is here, unless it's just been so bloody hot. But when I looked at RecGov, it looked like I could get reservations all the way through the weekend. We're going to find out. Oh look, now we're back on pavements. Minimum maintenance road. Okay. I can't remember how long it's been since I've been at a Corps park. It might have been, well, early this year probably. Yeah, because I think the ones in January in Texas were COE parks when I was flying back across the country to get away from the bad weather. I can smell the trees. Lovely. 94 degrees. always have more trouble reading signs that have pictures on them. Okay, I think we found it. Now let's see what the sights look like. So that would be pointing south. I'm gonna drive around. And I'm gonna call this home.